Hi everyone and welcome. I'm so excited to share all of this jewelry with you today. We are going to do a deep dive into all of the pieces I made in the last 3 months. Come join me. One of the bracelets that I made these last few months is the headliner herringbone cuff. This is a pattern by Westcott Jewelry on Etsy, and I made it in 2 different colorways. So first I made it in this one using amethyst and garnet rounds with some seed beads that match as well. You'll see a theme that I basically use magnetic clasps for everything. They are my favorite. But this one's very soft and elegant. I decided to pair it with the silver. And then this one is my bright one. So orange and blue is my favorite colors, my favorite color combo. This is probably a little bit of a brighter orange than I usually go for, but I kind of love how much it pops. Like it's not that thick of a cuff, and so I kind of like that it's just like has so much color. I also used these 4mm turquoise faceted rounds that I got when I visited the gem shows in Tucson in January of last year, and they had just been sitting in a bag. I hadn't been using them, and I finally cut the strand open and started working with them, so that was exciting. So yeah, I will link the pattern that I used. I modified it a little bit. They did have some options in the pattern. One was to do this, you can see it's kind of like 3 columns here instead of 5, so I followed that option that they had. And then I actually didn't do the center portion of their bracelet design. I liked how the sides looked, so I just did that technique but for the whole bracelet. So that's one bracelet. The next one I want to show you are these flat spiral rope bracelets. This one is a pattern by Danielle Wicks, and this pattern I found on her website from I think it was like June 2023. So sometimes I like just scrolling back on designers' tutorials and seeing what they have. And I really loved the kind of texture and overlay that this stitch had, but I did it in a totally different colorway than the original design. I really wanted to use a bunch more gemstones, and actually every bead in here is from a subscription bead box. All of these are from the Woodland Fairy box from Sam's Bead Box. That was from October 2024. So it's meant to have a little bit of that sort of magical, mystical feel. So I did these apatite rounds. We have aquamarine on the side, and then some check glass and seed beads. And I love how just like each section lays over the other. And then I go into my favorite color combo, and I really wanted to use more of the turquoise. I'm going to be back in Tucson in about a month, or maybe even a little bit less, and I'm sure I'm going to want to buy more turquoise. And so I was like, all right, I got to use what I have. So for this, I used both my 3mm and my 2mm faceted rounds with carnelian in the middle. And then I tried out a few different color options of what seed beads to put with it. I tried some more colorful ones, and then I settled on these darker ones, these kind of dark blue lustery seed beads plus the bronze cubes there, and I just really liked having that strong contrast of the dark blue. So these are my 2 flat spiral rope bracelets. Bracelets I think were, well, I don't know, maybe earrings were just as popular, but I made quite a few bracelets. The next bracelet, I think, the last one I have from this collection is the Moroccan Tiles seed bead bracelet. This one is a pattern by Nidhi Serrata that I found on YouTube. I actually just looked up Moroccan, I think I like Moroccan tiles or Moroccan squares, seed bead pattern on YouTube, because I think those kind of mosaics, that tile work is so beautiful that I was like, there has to be some designs that mimic that would be really cool. So I found several different options. A lot of them were like kind of very flat, like I don't know if they were peyote or herringbone, or just things where you're like have a full cuff with a pattern. But what I liked about this one is that I guess there was more unique shaping with it, that like it's almost like you're making these different beads, like that's not actually how you make it, but it has the look that like you've kind of made each of these squares as like its own bead and then connected them. In reality, you're going down and bead weaving through. But I will link this YouTube video if you want to make it. And this was a seed bead mix that I have from Sam's Bead Shop that was inspired by Red Creek Jasper. And so it had there was a lot of beautiful contrast between the greens and the reds and interesting textures. And I thought it made sense for this Moroccan inspired design. So those are the bracelets I have to show to you. And now I want to show you a necklace. I actually just have one necklace from this time period. So here we have the one necklace that I made in this time period over these last few months. And this one is called the Tourmaline Star Pendant pattern by Danielle Wicks. So you can see it has that star and those purple beads, and then it has this coin bead on the top that almost looks like it's like bezeled. The original design used lots of tourmaline beads, so I made a version in my favorite colors again. You'll see a theme here. I've got the blues and the oranges together. I just think they're a gorgeous combination. So I have carnelian rounds throughout the star, you know, in the points and inside the star. And actually, if you look on the back, you can really see the star even better. And then all the way along the edges and on this sort of bezeling feature, I've used apatite for the blue, apatite gemstone, and then in the middle here is a black tourmaline. I like how that I don't know, it's a little unexpected to bring in that black, but I guess I like just how it kind of darkens and deepens the piece and gives it more of like a nighttime celestial feel, especially with the purple that has that luster on it. And then I wanted something easy for the chain to make it really quick and easy to wear. A seed beaded chain would take a bit longer, and so I just wire wrapped some little sections of the apatite and carnelian and then added some chain at the end because I wanted a quick win there. And this is actually a really fast pattern. I mean, the star isn't that big, so if you're looking for a really quick win, a fast project, I think this design is a great option. So yeah, that was my only necklace to show, but now I have lots of earrings. To kick things off for the earrings are these ones. These ones actually use the same pattern that you just saw in the necklace. It is that same star pattern, but this time I tried turning it into earrings. So I used a mix kind of orange and red, and then these metallic seed beads, and I used the carnelian rounds again. I put some carnelian in the center, and this one I added a dangle, give it some length. So these were also a find from Tucson last year. I believe they are African jasper, or African turquoise jasper. It's kind of meant to mimic turquoise. I don't think they actually are, but this was this nice long brio that I wire wrapped and just wire wrapped directly on. So these are in my color combo again. This one I feel like is almost more in my color palette because the orange just feels a little bit more muted. I often like when it almost becomes kind of corally or peach as well. But I mean, these are, let's see, is that backwards? Something might be twisted there. Oh, there we go. I mean, I just love how the gems just pop with the blue hanging down. Oh, those are so pretty. I will say the way that I did these, the earrings are a bit flimsy. What I kind of realized just, from doing this and giving it a try is adding that coin bead in the center that's like bezeled on top. That really adds some stability to the design. I think it creates this really solid center so that even though the sides can be kind of flimsy, it still feels structured. So since I just put a round in the inside and didn't do that like overlaid coin, these are a bit flimsier. I guess just like they move around a lot. They can get a little out of shape. I think it still works for earrings and gives the effect that I'm looking for. Next, I'm going to bring in a few pairs of earrings that all follow the same pattern. I just got really into this design and doing some more wire work. These ones aren't with bead weaving. These ones are wire work, wire wrapping. And I did them in a bunch of different colors. I got very into it. I had been doing a lot of bead weaving And I just thought it would be nice to get back into wire. Sort of like if I don't use it for a while, I can start to be maybe a little intimidated by it. Maybe other folks can feel that way. And so it's just like, all right, let's get started. Let's do something. And so I did a technique that I had learned a while back called herringbone. And so I turned these into what I'm calling the Wirework halo earrings. So it uses a herringbone technique around that center bead and then has lots of dangles. I originally learned how to make herringbone from Sarah Lovecraft. That's a technique that she does so amazingly. And then I actually did a tutorial for these earrings over on the Sam's Bead Shop YouTube channel. I made these ones in this blue and browns color palette. So you can see, so yeah, I used what I had learned from Sarah Lovecraft and created this version here to show everyone. So I'll link that video if you want to check out the full tutorial. The last one here is using lots of tourmaline, lots of color. I love the pop of that pink on the side, that kind of magenta fuchsia. I think it's fun with the chips as the dangles, a little more freeform and irregular. We're going to end with some fringe earrings, which was something I'm so excited that I worked on these last few months. This is a technique that has always intimidated me. I've tried it before and I found it difficult. I found it hard to like get the tension right on the fringe and all these, you know, dangles that are hanging down. And I kind of just had to be like, all right, I'm just going to go for it. And whatever happens, happens. I'm just like not going to fret too much about the tension. And honestly, that worked well. I was like, you know, I just made slight adjustments as I went along, but then quickly was just like, all right, that's good enough. And I think that really helped me just push through. And now I just, these ones especially, I love wearing all of this color. It's so much fun. I love that it's a mix of Miyuki rounds and these hex beads in bronze. So it's kind of a nice touch, mixing up the different types of seed beads. And then these ones might look familiar to folks because this is actually my last video on this channel was coming up with this design. So this was me bringing together some wire work here at the top. I made these triangle frames and I wire wrapped the citrine inside. And then I did all of this fringe with these gemstone cubes. I think these ones maybe are CZ, cubic zirconia, with little seed beads in between. So I've got a full tutorial. Well, it's a tutorial. It's more like a design along with me. You can kind of see my process. I include all my mistakes and everything I learned while I made them. So fringe earrings was something I was really excited that I finally tackled these last few months, and I'll definitely be making more, and probably in some other colors, because I'm seeing I have a lot of purple here, so I need to make some fringe earrings in some other color palettes just to go with more of my jewelry. Those are all my earrings. So why don't I gather everything again so you can see everything together and check that out. So here we go. Here's everything I made in the last few months from October to December. My earrings, my necklace, my bracelets. As you can see, I was having so much fun with color. Everything has pop, everything has color. It makes me very happy. I love wearing lots of color. And so I'll definitely be continuing to do that, but I'm just interested to see where my creativity takes me as, you know, we're heading into the first month of the year now. We are in the first month of the year now. And what will I make in January and into 2025? I will just have to see where the inspiration takes me, and I hope you will follow along. It was really fun to make this video showcasing all the different things I've been making lately. If you like this style of video, I'd be happy to make more in the future. And it's kind of fun to share different designers, different patterns that I follow. Maybe you haven't heard of some of them and you will want to check them out as well. So thank you all so much for joining. I would love to know which one is your favorite, or which one are you thinking, which pattern might you try out yourself. So if you could leave a comment, I'd love to know what you like the best or what pattern you're going to try. Please let me know. Thank you all so much for joining. Bye now.